The Philadelphia Eagles need a wide receiver. They need speed. And, well, what better draft than this one to go get a wideout? Because there's receivers aplenty. There's a lot of depth. And we're here to talk about, well, basically each and every one of them within the next, I don't know, how many weeks do we got till the draft?
We got 79 days, Adrian, but who's counting? Just me.
79. All right, so we're 10 days away from 69 days, which is actually awesome. So let's do the math. That's less than 3 months away. Okay, so that's less. Okay, so we can only – all right, well, we'll bunch more of these in near the end. But to start, we'll do a couple. So, yeah, we're going to do definitely more than 12 receivers.
Well, the Eagles could use 12 receivers, Adrian, so I think it's only fair we do more than 12. You know what I mean? It's so painfully obvious. I mean, the good thing, Adrian, and we talked about this in past shows, is like this draft, because it's deep in receivers, it obviously has really good quality and it has good quantity too. There's different ways the Birds could attack this. Now, again, we're having this conversation before free agency, so who knows how that changes things. But, you know, the Eagles could go corner in the first round and to get a good receiver in the second round. You could double up and receiver first and second round. I don't think there's a wrong way to play this because there's so many good receivers in this draft.
Yeah, absolutely. I see it as like kind of like this. Like if Henry Ruggs is there, you take him.
Yeah.
But if he's not there, I would maybe go best player available and then go second, third round for receivers. Kind of like what they did 2017 at the cornerback spot. If you remember, a lot of depth at that position. They attacked it with Rasul Douglas, Sidney Jones. So, you know, it hasn't exactly given them a consistent starter, but that's the way they attacked it 2 years ago.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that train of thought, Adrian. I mean, again, because we know that depth is an issue just as much as quality is an issue. So, yeah, I think both ways is a fine way to go about it. I think we'll also find out real clear what the Eagles think about J.J. Arcega-Whiteside by the time we get to the draft. I mean, if they go back-to-back receiver, I think it's really, really damning for J.J.
That's a good point. All right, let's get into K.J. Hamler, redshirt sophomore here, Penn State product. So we start with the local kid. And, you know, a question I have for you. I'm glad I remembered this. So he's playing the slot in college, right? And how much of an evaluation can we actually get on this? Because, like, how many of the great corners are actually playing nickel? They're not, you know. So Ohio State, for instance, I forget who he was on. You know, the first, you know, couple third downs, but he was burned. And then they put one of the two first rounders on him.
Jeffrey Okudah.
Yeah, Jeffrey Okudah put him, and Jeffrey Okudah put him to sleep, and KJ Hamler couldn't get any separation on him. So that was the adjustment Ohio State made because Hamler was getting – I think he had like the first 2 third downs. Then they put Okudah on him. He couldn't do anything after that. So I asked that question, is that something that, you know, you have to kind of look into?
I think it's something that you at least have to have the conversation about, right? But to me, Adrian, the reason why I squash it, and I don't think it's personally an issue, maybe it was until something about bald head, is because what's he going to play in the league? He's going to play slot.
Yeah.
So it's like this is what he's going to do on both levels, and it's all he's going to do on both levels. It's not like A.J. Brown, for example, who certainly is more than rocked up to play on the line of scrimmage. K.J. Hamler's a guy 170 pounds, which obviously is a big concern for me, that he has to only play in the slot. Now, because obviously, Adrian, we do this and we do everything from an Eagles lens, that doesn't really hurt the Philadelphia Eagles in evaluation of him because the Eagles use a lot of slot-heavy type of formations, and that's obviously a great situation for KJ Hamler to fit into.
Well, I'm actually I kind of reference like the cornerbacks in general that he's facing because he's not exactly facing first-rounders in the slot except for Okudah, who was on him in that particular game against Ohio State.
Right. No, I mean, that's 100% fair. You know, in college, you see more often than not the best guys are playing on the edges, not necessarily in the slot, right?
Yeah.
In the NFL, it varies a little more, but I think that's also starting to become a trickle-down effect, Adrian. I think we're going to start seeing – this draft's a good example. You got a couple guys that are pretty slot-heavy, and we're certainly going to talk about a couple of them. But I think, Adrian, you know, this is probably a trickle-down effect that we'll start seeing more of the best corners being in the slot here. It'd be very interesting to kind of see how this transition continues from college football to the NFL.
Yeah. Let's pull up the tape. Let's get into it. KJ Hamler. First thing we're going to look at is the deep speed. Obviously, that's what the Eagles are going to need here. in this upcoming draft. A lot of speed for the offense, toys for Carson Wentz to work with. So first clip here, it's from the opener. And this is interesting because he makes a great hands catch. A hands catch. Something that, we might not be talking about for the rest of the show. Hands. But here, he shows it. And it's in the opener. So it's interesting that it's in the opener. But then after the opener, it stopped. So let's get into this particular clip against Appalachian State.
Yeah, Adrian, if you'd be so kind to share the screen, we'll be able to kind of take a peek at that. But yeah, this is something that I think was really interesting. This was.
Oh, do you have the video up on your end?
I could do that. Yeah, not a problem.
Okay, yeah. That's what I was looking to do.
Sure,
okay.
No problemo.
Sweet. So you pull that up. I'll continue discussing here. So we're going to talk about his deep speed ability, whether or not he has enough of it, and that's the thing that we're going to talk about probably first for all the burners at least. So we'll get into that. We'll get into some change of direction, acceleration, and then the bad stuff at the end. The red is bad. So
yeah,
we'll get into that. So this is the opener here against Appalachian State.
Yep, and this is week 1, first game of KJ Hamler's actual collegiate career too.
Oh, so this is actually in 2018.
This is 2018, yeah.
Okay, all right.
This would be his redshirt freshman year, AJ. So what I think is really interesting, we talk about this not enough, in my opinion, is the wear and tear these college receivers or college players, I should say in general, go through. Especially upper body injuries really affect how much guys will extend and how they attack the football. The reason I think this is important here, Adrian, is this is week 1, first game of college career. So this is, you'd assume, as physically healthy as he's probably ever going to be. And as we're going to take a peek here, right on the jump, as Adrian was talking about here, great hands catch here.
Yeah, and it's definitely 2018 looking at the quarterback there.
Now,
so there we are. So that's the first particular clip, and the next couple, we're just going to show a couple here. So this particular play on Michigan's end, I mean, they're late to obviously cover him, but you can just see the easy separation there as he creates some distance. And then I have a question here for the last clip here. So this is the vertical one up the field where he kind of goes in and then up. Now, in the NFL, with Carson Wentz, is this a touchdown?
Probably, and it's probably a touchdown. In the next angle, you're really going to be able to see a good reason why I think it's a touchdown. Yep. Because if we see it here, he splits these receivers. A good quarterback's going to put this ball closer to the hash or the numbers.
He's going to go, put it on the other sideline. Yeah,
correct.
That's where all the field is. This is just a poor throw.
Correct. Where opposed to here, ball's put in the middle of the field. This gives the safety and the corner the opportunity to make the play. So, yeah, Adrian, let me go back and I'll just kind of keep letting it run. I think he has the vertical speed. Now, this is what I think is going to be concerning. He's 5'10", 175 pounds. Now, that's what he was listed at Penn State. Now, we all know what's going to happen. He's going to pound a ton of water. He's going to pound a ton of protein. He's going to put weight on. He's going to step on the scale. He's going to come 180 pounds. Everyone's going to say, oh, wow, he gained so much weight. That's great. And the first week of camp, he's going to shed it all. He's going to shed it all, and he's going to be back to 170 pounds. So he's a light guy. So he has to run fast, and he certainly looks like he has the speed. But here's my issue, Adrian. If I have a guy like him, and I have him right up against some other guys like Brandon Ayuk from Arizona State, who comes in at closer to 200 pounds and runs almost identical speed, I'm going to go with the heavier guy because in the league, these guys are going through car accidents every single game, and we call it collisions and tackles. So to me, Adrian, I'm a little more worried about his durability. He has the speed, yes. I don't think he's going to be a guy, though, Adrian, that's going to run sub 4.5, which I think will hurt him.
Yeah, I definitely don't disagree with you at all here. So let's get into the change of direction. And this is obviously something that he does extremely well. And it's not only just the change of direction, but the vision that he possesses in the open field. This is a great play here where he just kind of charges along the sideline and then makes some cuts along the inside.
Without a doubt here, Adrian, this is an awesome example. I think, and this is not a shot at KJ Hamler. He is a quicker than fast type of guy. I don't think he's a guy that's just going to line up on a 40 and just smoke people. Woo! Where I do think he will kill you in the 3-cone.
Show that one again. We'll get there. Here it is. Where's Chris Berman?
Again.
What?
Awesome vision. awesome vision to be able to take care of those cutbacks here. And this to me, Adrian, this was my favorite play he had.
Oh,
now,
this was unbelievable. I love this play.
This is from this season. All right. This is this season. It's, early in the year. But this is an awesome example of his stop-start ability is so special. He just starts toying with guys on the
there, right there. Oh, and then good night. He's just flying down the sideline. That's so.
Run that one back.
Oh yeah. Let's watch that one a couple times.
Again, I don't think KJ is a guy who's going to run sub 4.5. But you know who else didn't run sub 4.5? Michael Thomas, AB. I mean, you see it all the time. You don't have to run sub 4.5 to be an elite level receiver. The problem is if you don't run sub 4.5, you got to have a really accurate passer to be able to get you the ball. And KJ's Hamler, to his credit, he's awesome stop-start, awesome acceleration, awesome vision in the open field. But to me, Adrian, I just have a knack with his size, his durability, and his vertical speed still.
Yep. All right, so let's just rewind that back just a little bit. I just wanted to show something here. So look at him also. Make that safe. That was a poor tackle attempt there by the safety, but that's something that I did notice. He's able to make the safety miss after the quick slant.
Well, what I really like about this, Adrian, about this specific clip, you're right. He definitely does a good job, but he knows his acceleration ability, and he does a great job of making the safety slow down, right? Like everyone's going to talk about the high steps here like he's a freaking rocket, but really what he's doing is he's waiting for that safety to pop his head up and rise. And as soon as he does that, he knows, hey, I have a quicker acceleration ability. If you're going to play that tall in the air, as soon as you raise up, cool, I can put my foot in the ground and I can shift much faster than you can. And that's a great job by KJ Hamler knowing his skills.
Here we go, slot fade. And this is the acceleration. We see a little bit of separation there at the end. And the catch there in the back left corner of the end zone.
Slot fades suck. I mean, as a former defensive back, I would be the first one to tell you, slot fades are so damn hard, but it's his acceleration once he gets to the top of his route before he's able to burst that really makes it impressive here. Once he gets to about the 20-yard line, you can just see him pull away. You saw it in the Maryland clip. You saw it here against Michigan. Awesome stop-start ability. His acceleration is really where he is successful, Adrian, more than most receivers coming out of this draft.
So remember that Ohio State game? I was talking about it earlier in the show. Well, this is an example of him being on a lesser corner. This is definitely not Okuda. But this is probably the best quick slant I saw him run in terms of the tape that I saw.
Playing in the slot here, bottom of the field here, guys. What I think KJ does a really damn good job of, and this is something that we don't talk enough about, and we call it stemming. It's what do you do in the last step and a half before you make your break. So obviously we know that you guys have seen this a couple times through. It's an inward breaking slant. Okay, cool. So what you're going to notice him do is he's going to do an awesome job at the last step here. You saw that big right jab step? That big
By the way,
right.
before you continue, I'm sorry to cut you off. Is there a way to slow this down?
No.
No? That'd be a really good way to show
Yeah.
the speed.
I wish, Adrian. I wish there was some way we could. Let me actually.
Oh, there we go.
Maybe.
We got it, baby. There we are. So now you can really break down the feet and get into the specifics here.
Thank you, Adrian. So what we're going to notice here, when he gets to the top of his route, you're going to notice a big right hard step. It looks honestly like a jab step in basketball. It's coming right there. Bang. Nice hard right step. And what you see it does is it forces the corner to imagine that, okay, hey, a nice hard right step probably mean, okay, slot fade's coming here. So I'm going to slide with him, and now all of a sudden we get the slant inside. He's really good at stemming at the top of his routes, Adrian. That's why I think he's really, really successful.
Yeah, if you don't mind just showing that again for us.
Please.
Yeah, we'll see it eventually. So another thing I just wanted to get into in terms of the routes that I saw him run there at Penn State, a lot of the quick outs, a lot of the quick slants, and some crosses, but mostly the quick slants and quick outs. Some deep stuff as well. We saw the posts, but what did you think of the routes that he ran?
I think they're very NFL applicable. I think it's more applicable than a lot of guys we see. I think the other thing we also have to acknowledge here, he's not exactly playing with NFL level quarterback.
No, he's not.
But I mean, his route tree from a slot receiver, not terribly different, truthfully, Adrian, than what he'd run in the league.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing that I want to see him do is try and stretch the field a little bit from the slot, which we saw him have this ability to do. So now, okay, we're in the red stuff. Red means bad. Bad isn't good.
Oh,
And
bueno.
there's some stuff that I don't like about KJ Hamler. I don't know how people are gonna react to this tape because it's Penn State, it's local. People love the Nittany Lions, but man, there's something I didn't like about how he catches the ball with his body, and this is something you can't do in the NFL. Because you're gonna allow that ball to pop off your chest. That allows the defender to obviously kind of rip that ball away and force that to be an incompletion. So I saw a little bit too much of this.
Well, I'm gonna add it, Adrian, on what you said because I love everything you said and I'm with you. There's other two things I want to say. One, when you catch the ball with your hands, now you're able to be more dynamic right away with the ball in your hands, and that's what KJ's great at. KJ's great at his stop, start, right? So you want him, hey, catch the ball cleanly so you can go be an athlete right away. If he has to get it to his chest, now maybe it's an extra smidget of a second to turn that ball around to get it square. And now all of a sudden the safety's on top of you because it's a whole bunch of different levels of speed, obviously, as we continue up and up and up in football here. So that's the first thing. The other thing, Adrian, I want to talk about is this is Michigan, right? So this is Michigan game. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 7th week. Yeah, week 7, if I got it right here, my quick counting, of the 2019 season, right? I can't help but wonder, and maybe this is me making an excuse, and you know what? It's very well possible I am. Is he healthy? Because in this game, Adrian, there was a lot of chest pinning catches, and it really happened pretty heavily from here down through the rest of the year. So
Yeah.
I have to wonder, hey, do you have an upper body issue? Is there something that's not allowing you to get full body, upper body extension to reach out and snag the ball? I don't know. It's possible. It's possible I'm making bullshit up too. I don't know which one it is. But as Adrian talked about here, you're going to notice this a lot, especially in the late part of this season, catching the ball against his chest.
There it is. So if we find out about an injury and we find that he can catch the ball with his hands, does that change things?
It makes it very, very intriguing, right? And I could argue two sides of the coin. I could say, okay, hey,
that would change things a little bit for me.
I also would say, but here's my flip side, Adrian. I'm gonna be the pessimist here, just to play with you here.
Yeah.
Couldn't I also say, doesn't that prove that he's a durability concern?
True. Good point.
Right. I mean, you can see it here. This ball's underthrown. He has more than enough time in here. I'm going to run this back.
See it bobble too? See how it's bobbling? In the NFL, that's an incompletion.
No question. I'm going to run this one back in full speed here, and what you're going to see, the ball's underthrown, which means he has more than enough time to get square and get full arm extension. Sometimes on speed outs and things like that, the ball's already in your lap, so maybe you don't have the time to get your arms out, which I understand. This is not the case, though. This ball is going to be late. He has ample time to basically wait on the football, as you'll see him. He's plenty of time here.
Oh, yeah. There it is. Another thing that I saw him do, which I didn't really particularly like, I mean, he's a small guy. We're not going to show any film on him, but not really attacking the ball in the air. When it's, go up and get it.
Again, this is late in the season, so I'm going to keep playing both sides of the coin here, Adrian, because we're not sure. This is 2 weeks after Michigan, and you're right. He's not going to be the most aggressive guy to go and attack it.
So this is a quick slant, and this is where you want to talk about how he probably should have gotten a little bit more yards after the catch.
This one irks me. I'm not going to lie to you, Adrian, okay? The Minnesota here is in straight up, simple as it gets, cover 3. As simple as it gets, cover 3. Or man under single high, if you want to argue it's – either way, this corner is going to be in a bail technique. He's in a bail technique, giving away the inside. KJ beats him so freaking bad, he spins him like a top, which is awesome. That's fantastic. Now, here's the problem, okay? KJ, let's say he's maybe a yard behind, or maybe a yard behind the corner here, okay? I'm not sure who this corner is, but this corner, I'm telling you for a fact, should not run as fast as a 40 as KJ Hamler, period. So if KJ is going to get tackled on this play, Adrian, it has to be by the safety. You can't get tracked down by the corner on the same play, you made spin around like a top because you beat him so bad off the snap. This is an example, Adrian, when I'm talking about straight 40 speed, that's all this is. This is not a burst. This is not change of direction. This is just run right by him, and you get tracked by the corner. That's a bummer for me, Adrian. That's a big, big minus in this clip here.
We'll see what he runs in Indy, because that could be a good indicator of may not be as fast as you might think it might be. So we'll see.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to credit him. Awesome job again, top of the right. Good hard left print. Makes an awesome cut here. It's sweet. But I just want to see the burst, man. I just want to
run away from him. What does Jerry Rice do when he catches a slant? He runs away from everybody. I mean, it's Jerry Rice and this is KJ Hamler, but All right, last thing we're going to look at. This is a ball where he tries to catch it with his hands. He's like not attacking the ball. Doesn't look comfortable catching this ball. I didn't like this at all.
What I loved about what Penn State did is Penn State was realistic, and they knew that, hey, when we play Ohio State, we're not the best athletes. So we got to find ways to get our best athletes in space. Adrian, schematically, this is what you draw up. I mean, like from a offensive standpoint, when you go to bed at night and you script the first 25 plays, this is exactly how you script it up here. Just a quick out. Is it a perfect throw? No. But it hits him in the hands cleanly, man.
Catch the ball. I mean, it's how he's attacking it. He looks so uncomfortable going after it. It's a pass in the flat. So this is again like after Michigan. This is late in the year.
Yeah, it's after Michigan. It's late in the year, but either way, Adrian, it hits him right in the freaking hands. Like even if you are hurt, it hits you right in the hands, and he has more than enough time in this clip, Adrian, to get his head clean around. It's not like his vision was abstracted by a tackle or a defensive end or a backer. It's just a flat-out drop, and it's a big homer.
So I have his game log pulled up, right?
Yep.
After the Minnesota game, he had 4 games, and he only went over 50 yards once.
Yep.
And it was 52 against Indiana.
Yep.
So he had 4 100-yard games before that.
Yep.
So maybe there is something there. Or maybe the competition was, Rutgers, if you're only getting 5 for 22 against Rutgers, that's a problem.
Well, I mean, let's look at those 100-yard games here, Adrian, too. Idaho. I think we can agree. Let's toss that one out.
Yeah, true.
Right? I mean,
Maryland's not good either. That's a 59-0 walloping, shellacking. Michigan and Minnesota, okay, we'll give them that.
Michigan was his game, man. Like, if you want to go back and watch a game, you say, show me the best, on put Michigan on because he just tore them apart.
And that's good that he did well against Michigan because that's exactly the tape that I'm going to be looking at. I'm looking at who's the best corner. I want to see you go against the best corner. I want to see what you can do against them. And, that's why Ohio State was good for me because I was seeing Bakudo on him a little bit. So there it is. That's KJ Hamler. Overall thoughts on him, it doesn't seem like you're that crazy about him. I was underwhelmed when I watched the film. I thought I was going to like him more than I did. I do like the change of direction. I do like some of that ability. But in terms of the deep speed, there's going to be other guys that I'm definitely going to like.
Yeah, and this is the thing, Adrian. Like, there's a lot of good guys in this draft, which kind of hurts a guy like KJ because I think he's really good. But
maybe he falls to the 4th, and all of a sudden he's not so bad. He's not falling that far?
No. Let's not get it twisted. I think KJ is a guy that we'll probably see, Adrian. Now, again, a lot of this comes down to the combine, right? What is his 40 going to be? Because that's a big thing for him because of his size. He has to run fast. Guys that are his size are guys like John Ross, for example. That's his physical build. He has to run fast at his 170-pound frame. I think, Adrian, realistically, he's probably in the 20 to, let's say, mid-40 range, I think, when things are all said and done. But, I mean, there's a lot of other guys. We're going to talk about another one here, and I don't want to tease it. I'll let you tease who our next one's going to be as a guy that I think might be able to surpass KJ Hamler.
Yeah, so, that I mean, 4th, obviously a little bit testy there, but maybe the 3rd, who the hell knows, because of the depth, and that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We kind of even saw with the corners falling a little bit in 2017, not necessarily because they were bad, but because of how many good there were at the position. So Brandon Ayuk is going to be the next guy that we look at. Arizona State. I don't think he played in the bowl game because nobody played in that bowl game against Florida State. That was one of the worst bowl games I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't know if you watched any of that game. I watched like a quarter and a half and I shut it off. I was excited to watch Ito Benjamin go up against what's his name? Cam Irving. What's his name?
Cam Akers, running back?
Cam Akers. There you go. I was completely blanking. Cam Irving, I'm thinking of the center.
Yeah.
But excited to see that running back matchup in the Sun Bowl, and neither guy played. I don't think the quarterbacks played. It was so bad. Did you watch it?
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. This is going to be weird. I mean, maybe I'm alone here, but, like, I have this irrational disliking for Florida State. I have no idea why. I have no reason. I've never cared for them.
But you watched the bowl games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was a bowl game I didn't watch much of because it was so abysmal. That one and, like, the Independence Bowl were the two worst ones. And, well, the Temple one wasn't any good either. But that Miami game was pretty bad too.
Yeah, you're right. But, yeah, Brandon Ayuk's going to be a really interesting one here, Adrian. I mean, kind of like a one-year wonder, which is really weird to say, but a huge year. But didn't have anything the year prior, was a junior college kid before that. So he kind of is coming with a boom or bust kind of mentality here when you're looking at him, Adrian.
All right. So we'll see what he looks like when I pop in the tape and we evaluate him about a week from now. Maybe we do 2 a week. Who knows? We'll see what we come up with. We'll talk about that after the show. So that's Brendan. I'm Adrian. We're out of here. Peace.
Appreciate it.